have to be on board. No feelings, no emotions have to be into it. We have to be about our people.
Unacceptable for us to be in poverty in a place that they call the land of opportunity. It makes no sense, and it's an indictment on our leadership, and it's an indictment on manhood, and it's an indictment on the character and the consciousness of who we are, because that's not what we are, and that's not how we have been designed before we came into this captivity.
Peace. And if you're just tuning in to HOTEPMAG.com, we're sitting with a prolific, profound, my brother, Sedrick Keeler. Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate you coming out to sit with us, my brother. And you're a radio host, correct?
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you is, how did you come about with the idea of conscious mindset?
That's it. That's a great question. A little bit about myself. I'm a man. And I think that is the greatest thing that you can be, and especially in this society that has emasculated us and made us think that we're everything but a man. I used to look at pictures of our elders and our antecedents, and they would walk around with signs saying, "I am a man." And in school, that they made us feel like that was a glory moment, that men were standing up saying that they were men. But a man doesn't need to have a sign that says he's a man. A man understands exactly what he is, and he was designed by his creator to do certain things. So a man is fulfilling his purpose. He don't have time to walk around with a sign. That was done because those brothers finally realized that they weren't men, and they had to accept that, and they had to show the world that they were now acknowledging, "I am a man." We no longer need to do that. I'm no longer going to accept that. I am doing things that manifest manhood and begin to teach the youngsters what it means to be a man. And what that entails is keeping your word, being disciplined, being orderly, doing what you say you're going to do, and doing it to the best of your ability, not for some external reward, but for an intrinsic value that comes not from this world, but from the creator that created all creations. And us understanding that the black man is living, breathing, walking love. And that love is not a delusional love. It ain't no romantic love, because we not Romans. That's where that came from. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, our love is pure, our love is full of peace, our love is long suffering, and our love is able and capable to take travesties like we were infected with when we were going through the civil rights movement, to take those experiences, to take that plight and to turn it into something that we now talk about even today as a blessing. And we now look at the history of King, and we look at X, and we look at brothers like Medgar Evers who sacrificed their lives for our people. And that's why we have to take the onus and carry the torch just like they do in the Olympics. But we carry it not for some vain gold medal, but for the goal of bringing our dreams into fruition and teaching our children who they are, and what their design is. So to answer your question, how the show came about, but I had to give you that. You know what I'm saying? It came about from those brothers, from those experiences, from those people who dedicated and sacrificed, and us realizing that it was time and season. You hear constantly people saying they're conscious, brothers in the music industry, brothers in all walks and fashions of life, beginning to awaken, so to speak, and becoming conscious of what time and season that it is. We realized that we needed to be a vessel or an opportunity to express the voice of the voiceless. We're in a time and season to where we realize that we did not receive integration. Even the Board versus Brown education, what it said was it was a law of desegregation. It never said integration. Desegregation is where a superior now tells the inferior, we will allow you to assimilate. We will incorporate you into what we do, not in the power and in privilege, but in you will now serve us. or you will now serve the purpose we have designed for you. So that's why you see black communities becoming melting pots. And I was going to say white communities, but you have Asians taking over black communities. You have Indians and Arabs taking over black communities. So I can't just put it on the Caucasoid. No, it has been a melting pot and a united nation inside of melanated communities, because we don't know who we are. We don't understand our value. We run around saying our lives matter on t-shirts and on protests, but our activities speak otherwise. When you have 97% of the economic development, the economic resources and revenue going right back to people that don't look like you, don't trust you, and don't put out images that are positive of you, then you'd have to say that is psychotic behavior. That is genocide of the worst nature, because we're doing it unto ourselves. And the thing that I want to say real quick, real fast, in a hurry about the show is what we showcase on a plethora and a myriad of dynamics and mannerisms and ways and hopefully modalities is that we are in a time and season to where we understand we're the ones we're waiting on. We're the ones we've been waiting for. We're the ones that we've been dreaming for. And it's not to glorify ourselves or walk around vainly and act like we better, like we Negropeans. No, we understand that it is now high time and season for us to begin to do the things that really matter, to understand what really needs to be done, and to put our own vainglory and our own ego aside and start working side by side in true unity, in true love, in true peace for our people to get a piece of the land that they call milk and honey.
That's power.
Introduce your brand to an untapped market. Literal Substance is a social networking experience dedicated to re-educating and reshaping the collective Black consciousness. Blacks are more than twice as likely to trust Black media than mainstream media. Increase potential sales for your brand through our web, magazine, and email platforms for as low as $9.99. We help you to shape your overall ad concept, track and manage your ads, as well as design and develop your own advertisements. Partner with Literal Substance, a place where positive Black people connect.
Then it's trouble for the whole world.
We the best music.
Oh, this what we doing here?
Another one.
I might have to put on my jury for this one.
Rave talk, oh, we're talking that rave talk. DJ Khaled. I got them keys. I got them keys. I got them keys. I got them keys. We go to court, we gon' plead the fifth. I know the judge, I'ma shoot him some chips. I got them keys. I got them keys.
Niggas always asking me the key. Till you own your own, you can't be free. Till you own your own, you can't be me. How we still slaves in 2016. Keep the light, keep it bad coming. Every night another bag coming. I ain't been asleep since 96. I ain't seen the back of my eyelids. I've been speeding through life with no safety belt. 1-on-1 with the corner with no safety help. I put fun like Josh Norman. I ain't normal, nigga. Just a project nigga out in Beverly Hills, California, nigga. That rape talk.
Becoming conscious of what time and season that it is, we realized that we needed to be a vessel or an opportunity to express the voice of the voiceless.
Peace. And if you're just tuning in to HOTEPMAG.com,
It's powerful.
we're sitting with a prolific, profound, my brother, Sedrick Keeler. Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate you, coming out to sit with us, my brother. So when we talk about conscious mindset, you explained about the spirit, and that was the idea for it. What is the mission as far as using that spirit and going towards the future? Because right now, we need conscious mindset. We need conscious minds in our neighborhoods, in our cities. We need it all across for the so-called black man. We need this. So where do you see that spirit for conscious mindset?
Man, that is a profound and powerful, and I use your word prolific question because I've read in many books it says without a vision the people perish. And you can see in any community in which melanated people live, people are perishing. And I think that they're perishing because we have believed so many delusional things that have kept us away from really being able to use our eyes as they were designed. I heard Dr. Africa say, we don't have 5 senses. We have one sensor. That's our brain. You know what I'm saying? And it controls our eyes. It controls our ears. It controls every dynamic and every mechanism and every aspect of our existence as far as this physical body is concerned, right? And one of the things that I began to realize is we don't even control our brain because our brains are being manipulated by this technological advances that we call television, by what we call the computer, by what we call social media, by what we call the propaganda and the machine. And it all started from us being used by mercantilism. And so when we look at, we are being sold by merchants all around the world. They say the first thing that was sold on Wall Street was a black man, stocks and bonds, right? So the thing that we have to realize is we're a commodity in this society. And being a commodity, you have to understand supply and demand. And we know that there's a major demand for what we are doing. And what we are doing is we're supplying our people with things right now that they think are a little scary. Might be a part of the vanguard or avant-garde to some. But what we know is the best thing for your body is water, right? The best thing for your body is air, fruits and vegetables, right? But we live in a society that tells you that you can get something on the dollar menu. And they say you're loving it. So going back to what I was saying as far as conscious mindset is our goal for the show is to make this show us how much we need more shows, more entities, and a consciousness that will bring more things into our reality that reflect the kind of thinking, the kind of being, the kind of behavior, the kind of paradigms that represent true African people. So we begin to manifest, we begin to bless, we begin to create, we begin to address all the issues from a conscious mindset. And what that now does is it builds opportunities for us to build opportunities for future generations to come, even when we're in the ground. So what I'm saying is that we know the show is going to grow. We know the show is going to touch more souls and more spirits. We know that. We understand that. But it's not about the show. It's about what we can show other people that they can do too. And they can begin to build up their community. And they can begin to build up their family. And they can begin to build up their children, which will build up a nation for our people and for the people of the world. See, we have to understand we're the light of the world. So when the light of the world is filled with darkness, then it's trouble for the whole world. It's someone in India right now that's begging and pleading for the black man to wake up.
Right.
It's someone right now in Uganda, in Switzerland, hoping and praying that we'll wake up. Right. Why? Because we're the light of the world. And some people say, why in the world would this brother say this with all this darkness going on in the black communities? Why? How can he say that with all the history, with all the things that have manifested courtesy of the so-called African or melanated people? How can he speak that? Well, we know from science, everything starts out black. You know what I'm saying? We know from science that our genes are dominant. We know from science that we are given certain attributes, qualities, talents, and abilities that have manifested change all around the world. And what we have to do is understand that our value cannot be determined in white dollars, in dead presidents, in gold, in ruby, because we have something in our inner man, in our spirit, that is priceless, that is eternal, that moves us beyond the present paradigms and situations in which we face. So what I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, is that when our mind state gets conscious enough to realize that this show is but a reflection to show us how profound and powerful, and in your words, prolific we are, then what manifests from that will be able to take us far beyond the stars. When I look into the eyes of the children, and I see their dreams, and I see their hopes, and I see their aspirations, I don't want them to come up like I came up with people telling me, well, your skin color is going to make you work twice as hard. No, you're going to work twice as hard so you can do twice as much. Nothing's going to stop you but you. And those are the kinds of things that we have to develop in our children, not because, we want to get on the box of the Wheaties, you know what I'm saying, or we want to get a commercial, or we want to get, finances and all this for our own vain glory. No, we want to use these resources so we have more autonomy, and we can use this conscious mindset to bring in and bring into fruition those things that we think of.
Well, you took my next thought there, brother, because, I basically was going to ask you about the community. What do you see, and what would you like to see the community leaders do?
We don't have no community leaders. We don't have no community. The word community means you commune in unity. It's nowhere on the planet. I don't care what organization you're talking about. They're not communing, and they definitely don't have unity.
Right.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this situation. Otherwise, we'd be able to deal and address the dire needs that our people are facing. So I can't sit up here and say this is a community, this is a community. When you have leaders address the issues that need to be faced, regardless of the evil that exists. We have people who are spokespeople, spokespersons. They are master communicators. And what I mean by that is they're able to make you feel good with their words, but there's no substance in their soul. So I'm sitting here with literal substance. So I can't say that we have community leaders. No, I'll say this, we have community servants. And those community servants are working each and every day to serve the best interests of the people. See, we got the whole thing of king confused. I hear the rappers running around, people saying they king, saying they this. They want the crown, not understanding that the king has to protect the kingdom. That includes those who are wise and those who are dumb. That includes the weak. That includes the fatherless. That includes the widows. It's not about you being served. It's about who are you serving. I hear people say all the time they need a miracle. Why don't you be a miracle? You need this. Why don't you be that? You don't understand what I'm saying? So when we realize and we understand that we haven't had leadership, because if we had leadership, we'd be going in a direction that makes sense. And you can't go in any black community on this planet and see black people making sense. So that should tell you right there, you don't have leadership. So, when we get the leadership, then they will tell our people, hey, there are certain behaviors we can no longer exhibit. There are certain practices we can no longer practice. There are certain concepts that we have to put to rest. It's okay. I know Grandma did it. Mine did too. But she did it for her time and her season. And through the dispensation of time and through understanding, we have to develop a better way.
Hold up.